Hello, Marvel fam. Welcome to episode of Marvel Talk with your hosts,
Nick
and Chris. And we got something pretty fun to talk with you about tonight.
Yeah.
So, obviously...
This is coming from First the Source.
Oh, yes. Movie Web. We're going to explain... Well, mostly Nick will be doing most of it. And, I'll share my thoughts with it. The 9 biggest plot holes created by Deadpool and Wolverine.
And, this is Christopher's idea for a video, by the way. He actually sent me this last month.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, what do you think about this? And I was like, I'm going to brainstorm, because the first one's was very hard to come up with. Everything else was pretty easy. So I'm just going to tell you what I think, and Christopher will back it up if he agrees with it or not. And we're just going to make this into a fun little video. So before we get into it, the best way to support us is to subscribe to the channel. And, if you like what we do, just hit that like button if you enjoy, and let us know in the comments down below. We also have an Instagram, which will also be in the description down below. We are trying to get 200 subscribers by the end of the year on here, and we're trying to get 200 followers on Instagram by the end of the year. So I know the second one's a little far-fetched, but I think we could do it. But for here on YouTube, we're almost there. So a subscribe will mean so much to us. So let's get right into the video, shall we, Chris?
Yes, we shall.
How about you read, and I shall answer.
Okay, so the first one, how did Deadpool get to Earth's... Well, I know it says Earth 616,
but it says adjacent.
Yeah. So basically Earth 199999.
Yes, that is the adjacent to 616. And it takes place in 2018.
Yeah, hold on.
So this one was... So he basically said time and space, but that's not how that really works. So my theory that I came up with was that he ended up adding it in. Like, I think he got Forge, if there is a Forge in his universe, to kind of make it into like a multiversal thing. Or he just fixed it into making it into a multiversal thing and then destroyed it. But that's all I got. So my headcanon, which is a big thing going on in today's cultures with fandoms and stuff. So like my headcanon is he found someone to either forge or was working on it and found a way to make it into a little bit of a multiverse thing. So not only can it go past time, it can also go through universes. What do you think, Chris? What do you think about that theory?
Well, I do like it. Sounds possible.
Okay.
Since, there are some people who could travel multiverses and stuff, like you've seen with the TVA and Chavez and so on. But, I mean, I know this universe doesn't have probably but, I'm just saying still.
Yeah.
Regardless, there could still be somebody.
Okay.
Anyway, next one. Logan takes place after Deadpool and Wolverine. So Logan should still be alive.
But now this is something that didn't take me very long to do as well. Well, no, this one didn't take me as long to do, because the other one did take me a long time to do. So I was just figuring that the reason why was because he messed up so much with time and everything that he ended up merging the 2 timelines into one, which was the past and present, and just merging it together, which means Wolverine most likely took place during the Deadpool movies. And we could tell by the Deadpool movies that the Charles Xavier School was still a thing and Dark Phoenix never existed. Dark Phoenix could have been in an alternate timeline, so there's that. And I know we watched Dark Phoenix with the guys, with our other friend group, and we hated it. But
we were kind of hate watching it.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't say hate watching because I never watched it. So for me, I did end up hating it, but I didn't say I personally didn't.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. But
this was our first time watching it because I heard things about it.
But we already were.
We went in there knowing it was going to be bad. So,
yeah.
But but for that, I just think it was. And again, this could be a headcanon. You can agree with me at the end of this. But I feel like that with all that time change that he was doing, it ended up causing a merger between the 2 timelines, and the future timeline, which was Logan, kind of got in there and now all masses into one, which explains why Colossus is still there with the X-Men symbol and everything, which means Logan did age, but at the same time he died protecting the school, the students or the kids, and the Xavier School was still a thing because of everything. So I just feel like everything was merged into one and kind of created this little mess. They didn't explain, but they also added that that the timelines were ridiculous. Paradox said it was like, they was so
like how he was so abusive of it.
And how it kind of just I got a little confirmation that was just so merger. So everything was just merged together into one. So there's not exactly a proper timeline to it. It's just everything's merged into one. So yeah. What do you think, Chris?
Well, that does sound possible. So, but it's really cool though.
Okay, you're not a fan of that one.
I mean, I don't know. It's just the timelines get so confusing and everything. But
McAfee or Stewart, these timelines are so confusing
and stuff. So that's why
from the first Deadpool movie. It can be very confusing.
Yeah. So that's why
I just feel like that it makes the most sense because everything is kind of combined into one.
Yeah.
With how everything was, so I feel like that's what happened.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, if that's the best that works, I can live with that.
I mean, it makes the most sense, but, let us know in the comments down below if you agree with these.
Yeah, so. Anyway, so next we got, how exactly do anchor beings work?
The same way that every other huge thing happens. Well, let's see. There was canon events and what was the other one, Chris? I forgot. There was canon events, anchor beings.
Yeah.
And then there was something else. What was it? Forgot. But anchor beings are basically just like you have a main character, right? It's your main character. He's the most important part of your universe. Let's go into example for Toby. Toby, if something happened to Toby in his universe would be destroyed in 1,000 years or whatever they said, because he's that important. When he died, if he dies, his universe will take a long time for it to destroy. So for him, that would be an example. Another example would be Andrew, because Andrew so far is also the only one. So
in his universe,
yes. So you take them away, their universe will fade away in a couple of thousands of years. So it's not like they're going to be erased, but basically they are the main characters of the movies and comics and stories like that. Again, just to be very clear, the comic book continuity is completely different from the cinematic universe continuity. They're two completely different continuities that take place in they're not coexisting. They're not the same. They're both completely different universes, basically. MCU is its own thing and the comics are own thing, so very different things there. So for the MCU, we have like anchor beings and then like hang events which are destined to happen. So anchor beings for this one are just characters that are very important to their universe, and without them their universe will unexist, but it will take time. That's an anchor being. But I could have swore there was another one. Did Doctor Strange mention it or something?
Incursions,
yes. That's like the third thing, I believe. There was 3 of them. There was the canon, incursions, and the anchor beings, I think. Let us know in the comments down below, because we should have done our research before doing this, because I completely forgot. But yes, and those are that means 2 universes come into one and things start to go crazy. But anchor beings are just main characters, basically, and without them there's no point in having the universe, but they take a long time to do.
Yeah, because as you've seen throughout the X-Men movies, how much Logan has done a really big part in helping save it and everything. And
he was such a main part of those movies, like X-Men Origin Wolverine and everything, and we got to see him in First Class and everything like that. So he was a very main character in each of the movies. I mean, except for Dark Phoenix, obviously. He wasn't even in that one.
Yeah, I know.
But Age of Apocalypse, he was only in
for a couple minutes.
Yeah, as Weapon X. Yeah, the Weapon X armor.
Yeah.
But that's just another example. So take that for example, along with like Toby and Andrew. They are the only characers that matter in their own universe.
The only ones who are able to keep their universe.
Yeah. So without because it's basically like main character syndrome. Not main character syndrome. That's something else. But like a main character thing. So without your main character, there's no point in it, and it will unexist in a couple of thousands of years. So that's what a anchor being is. It's not very hard to. Did you agree with that? Do you agree with that? Okay, I just want to make sure you agree with that, because that's basically, I didn't find it hard to understand.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't find it hard either. It makes sense.
It's very simple, because what's the point in having a main character if it's not a main character, What would be the point of watching it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I didn't think that one was like a plot hole or anything. That one probably makes the most sense out of most of them, besides
I guess
conversions and, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I was just finishing.
Yes,
my thought, like
you go ahead.
incursions and like canon events, but those were also pretty easy to understand too.
Yeah.
But I feel like this one was like the least complicated one because people are always talking about how like they're complicated stuff.
Yeah, because like we've seen like some people like not liking the idea about anchor beings, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me. It's like real.
It makes sense.
Yeah, because after all, it shows like how much these characters really mean a lot
Like
with
why,
everything they've done.
Yeah,
like all the work they've done to keep their universe still going. And
exactly.
everything.
What would be the point of them? Like, well, why would you watch it if they're not in it?
Exactly.
That's why people watch the X-Men movies. I'm sorry to say that to any hardcore X-Men fans that are fans outside of Wolverine, but like he was the selling point. So was Toby. Like you went to the Spider-Man movie to see Spider-Man.
Exactly.
That's the thing. So like I don't understand why you're complaining. I feel like that would be the most simplistic one out of most of them. And there's a lot of like confusing shit in MCU, like the timelines and stuff and how they do there. So again, I thought it was the most easy one. I didn't even think it was a plot hole. It felt like the most simplistic one to me.
Yeah, even I thought so too. Even if I didn't know like so much with things, it would still make sense to me.
Yeah, so you agree on my
oh yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. All right. That's good to know. So that one was the easiest one, I think, out of all of these, but I forgot. So refresh my memory with the next one. I wonder if this one was easy.
Yeah. But okay. So the next one is, if Paradox is going behind the TVA's back, why does he care about Deadpool?
Well, he didn't. He even that was just a dumb question because he didn't even care. He even admitted that it was the higher ups that cared. He just was like, whatever, I'll take him. Mm-hmm. And not to mention, he threw him in the void. He didn't even care. That one was just, I didn't even answer that one. That one I didn't even answer because that was just a dumb question. He clearly didn't care. The higher ups wanted him. And he was just like, fine. Because they said it in the movie that, the higher ups were like needed him and stuff.
Yeah.
And that he was destined for purpose.
Yeah, to be exact with the quote, it's like, I gave you a chance of greatness because my superiors deemed you special.
Yeah. So he didn't even care. He didn't care at all.
Like, he didn't probably want anything to do with it. He just wanted to destroy his universe, and that was it.
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck at all, because if he cared, he would not have sent him to Cassandra Nova. You know what I mean? He would have put him somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, I didn't even, like, really need to answer that one. That one was just a dumb question.
Yeah, and along with the fact, it was proven thanks to a friend of ours in a Wikipedia called Pure Evil Wiki. It was actually, as an interesting fact, Mr. Paradox is considered pure evil because how he was willing to just kill an entire universe and he wouldn't care at all.
Multiple ones.
Yes, and so on. So along with Cassandra Nova, actually too.
I was about to say Cassandra Nova. Yeah.
Yeah,
our friend is loves the Pure Evil Wiki. He loves to see who's pure evil and not, and we like to find out too. It's really interesting.
Yeah,
I hope one day we can look at a pure wiki and see like pure heroes or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always nice to find out who are like pure evil characters and stuff in fiction. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and there are others in the MCU that were proven pure evil too. Like I remember like Dormammu from the Doctor Strange movie.
Yes.
And
Crossbones.
Crossbones, thank you.
Of course.
But yeah. and more, but we don't need to get into that right now.
But for that question, it's a dumb question. A simple answer. It's actually, there's no answer to it. It's just a dumb question. There's nothing to answer there. That's not even true. It's a false question. So
yeah, he just never cared about him or anything.
False question. It was not a true question. It was clearly apparently he didn't pay attention to that movie at all. Whoever wrote this article.
Yeah, actually, just for quickly a second. Yeah, okay, this guy that wrote this is Richard Fink.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think he probably even saw this.
I think he just read what was going on online and was just like, okay, I'm gonna ask these. So yeah.
And besides, one last thing is proven, about Paradox, like how he doesn't care, is that even like Pyro said that, where it's like when he was talking to Cassandra explaining why he shot her.
Yeah.
He's like, but the TV, we had an agreement. He's like, I don't think this guy cares.
Yeah, he doesn't. It's only what benefits him. So yeah. Again, dumb question.
All he just cares about is just being the TVA, the new TVA.
Yeah, that was a very bad question. To answer that, we had to go into an example of how bad the question was. But yes, that is.
But you all get it.
That is basically the answer to the dumb question, is that he just didn't.
Yep. So next one we got. Where are Russell, Domino, and Cable?
Now, this was another dumb question. They didn't need to be in there. That's why would for starters, I'm pretty sure they didn't want to be in a cameo for 3 seconds for the movie. Also, they probably couldn't afford them, but like they didn't need to be in there. First of all, Cable went back to his timeline. Remember, they sent him back and then they destroyed it.
Yeah.
Russell is probably just living his own life. He's probably in the Xavier school.
Yeah.
And what was the third one?
And Domino.
Domino's just doing her thing.
Yeah, just somewhere out there.
Yeah, she's doing whatever Destiny does for her and shit. So like, what? One's back in his timeline.
One's in either in the school.
Yeah, Xavier school or just another school. And the other one's just following her own path.
Yeah.
So that a very dumb question. So there you go. There's your simple answer to a dumb question.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chris?
But yeah, it's exactly true.
Okay, great.
I mean, even though I did read once that Josh Brolin would have wanted to come back, but I guess, yeah, maybe they just didn't have enough in the budget.
Or he just didn't want to be in the movie for like 3 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also,
exactly,
or probably just didn't make sense to have him.
Yeah.
Because of the timeline and everything.
And besides, at least they mentioned him at least.
Yeah.
So that's good enough with me.
With him going back to his time. So yeah, there you go.
So that's all. Next we got, when did Pyro start working with Mr. Paradox?
That one was a good question. You see, now we're getting to good questions here. Probably for a while. I mean, I would figure since the day he was able to get in contact with him, because apparently he does have contact with him, which means maybe he sent Pyro in there to watch over Cassandra Nova and he agreed to it or something.
Yeah, maybe he was like a little undercover agent.
Yeah, or he found a way to contact him or something later on and then was just keeping an eye on things.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was really it. Just either Paradox sent him there to make sure that everything stayed clean.
Yeah, undercover.
Or just he found out later on and they were just working together or something.
Yeah. All right, next we got, how did Cassandra Nova go from the Void to the Fox universe with just a sling ring?
Well, can I see that again?
Oh, yeah.
How did Cassandra Nova go from the Void to the Fox universe with just the sling ring?
Yeah, you know that.
Cosmic, well, she has kinetic powers. I honestly don't know how those rings work in terms of multiverse. That one was another good question. Maybe her powers were able to do it. I mean, if you think of it, the Void technically is like outside of the universe. So maybe she thought about where they needed to go or something. Or she used her powers and just created a portal.
Yeah, I mean, after all, she did mention how she killed what either could be a sorcerer or could be a Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess when she found that trinket after, which creepily wore his skin around for days.
Yeah, that was
like yeah. But anyway, I'm guessing after she found it, she must have been trying it and like practicing with it and everything, and probably did that.
Thinking about it, actually, maybe that was the Doctor Strange version from the Fox universe.
Yeah.
And that's how she was able to go in there, because that was probably connected to the Fox universe.
Hey, that could be true. It could be. I mean,
yeah.
And maybe. Oh wait, actually, hold on. I know this is like this is Sony right here, but they did mention in the second Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie with where at the Bugle, Jameson, they were talking about Doctor Strange, and that's pretty good, but it's taken.
Yeah.
So it's like there's probably Doctor Strange there. So.
There's also one in Andrew's universe. The Sanctum Sanctorum was spotted in there in the movies. So.
Yeah, I got to go over that again, honestly.
Yeah. No, you're fine. But
that's not important right now.
Yeah.
But
so
it's possible there could be a Doctor Strange in the Fox universe.
Yeah, I would say yeah, maybe that either that or her powers were just able to just do it, or she knew exactly where to go, and that one's a good question. I'm actually going to give him that one for credit because that one's a little hard, but I just thought that it was either just a Doctor Strange in the Fox universe that just landed up there, and then she ended up just realizing that it can only go there. So maybe, that makes the most sense to me than her powers, because I don't think her powers are able to actually do that. So let's just go. So this is my final theory. It's Doctor Strange from the Fox universe.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I can live with that. Because like I said, there's a Doctor Strange in the Toby universe, and you know, like I just did with Jameson, so it could be possible.
So you're gonna agree?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, great.
So there are other Doctor Stranges out there.
Great.
Okay, so next up, why is Deadpool important if all other Deadpools are sent to the void?
He's Deadpool Prime.
Yeah, I think
that one's a dumb. You see, why do you have good questions and then you have bad questions? He's Deadpool Prime. End of discussion.
Yes.
Move to the
we don't need to get into that one. Completely agree.
Yeah.
Boom. That's it.
That literally, this is his movie. I'm not even gonna get into this.
Yeah. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. That's so stupid.
We literally just said Deadpool Prime here. That's it.
Yeah. That was so dumb.
Okay. Next and the last one of all. Why does the TV still keep people in the void?
Well, because they don't know they exist in the void. That was the dumbest question. No, not the dumbest one. I would say the last one was pretty dumb. This one was just more simple. Let me just simplify for this. You have to remember that Paradox either pruned them because he was sent by the higher ups to recruit them and they failed, or he saw them as unimportant, like Johnny, for example, or they just forgot, because like you have to remember, there's a lot of prunings going around before Loki and during Loki and maybe even after Loki with Paradox. They don't know who's in the void. They can't, they don't keep count. They just send whoever they need to.
Yeah.
So that's really it. They just don't know who's there. They don't keep count. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, after all, it's just like how Johnny said, how Reed called it a metaphysical junkyard. So it's like, you know, what are you going to know it's in a junkyard after all?
Exactly. You would have to remember pruning someone, if anything.
Yeah.
And that's really it.
Especially when Deadpool called it a garbage dump, basically. So it's like...
like a Mad Max, but that would be IP infringement.
So it's like, you know, what do you think anyone's going to care, like what's literally in a garbage dump? No, it's just garbage.
Yeah, and again, they don't keep track of who they sent in there.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's just a really bad question because, they just don't keep track. That's really as simple as that.
Yeah.
So we answered some really good ones.
Yeah.
We answered terrible ones.
Because they were too stupid.
He only had 3 good questions in there? Yeah, that was pretty disappointing. But I'm glad I was able to kind of maybe clarify some things and make you all, I hope this fixed some plot holes you guys had for the movie. You can let me know if we did that for you in the comments down below. And yes, and I do personally agree with all of those. I'm glad you do. So I hope you guys do as well. Hopefully we made the movie more better for you in terms of that. And thank you guys so much for watching. Again, how to help us and how to support the channel is simply just subscribing. 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Smash that like button. And again, we have an Instagram. If you're on Instagram, you love Instagram and you love Marvel stuff, go follow us there. 200 there, 100 here. And let us know in the comments down below if we made the movie even better for you, because we'd love to hear that. And with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Excelsior.
Well said.